Mic check, everyone. Welcome to the G-Lew Show, all new episode of Changing the Game with G-Lew and the beautiful DeAndre Chanel. We got a very, very special guest tonight. Very special guest, Miss Christina Caron, aka Baby Doll, is here. So everyone kick back, get ready for the show. Going live in one.
Welcome to the city and the home of the Lakers, the land of the gangbang Mexicans and skyscrapers, Dodgers and the Kings and the Crips and the Bloods. When you mess with one of us, the city they burn it up. Been dividing us for years cause they fear when we united. Nowadays it's in the open, they ain't even trying to hide it. Everything is
Father Hernando,
Mira, ¿qué te pasa? What's
you
wrong?
have to help me, please. They're trying to kill me. Vargas and that bruja Paula Quitano.
I'll call the police.
No, please. Don't send me back to Cuba.
No, I won't let them.
Say-
I promise.
Give it up for my creator, I'm a soldier for the king. If you ain't part of the elect, you ain't knowing what I mean. You'd rather ride in a limousine, get famous like Billie Jean. But that new world order's gonna hit you with that guillotine.
This is how we do it in the streets of California. This is how we put in work.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the G-Lew Show, Changing the Game with G-Lew and the beautiful DeAndre Chanel. What's up, DeAndre?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Got a great show lined up tonight. I'm very excited. Won't you tell them what we got going on tonight?
We've been having nothing but legends on this show all month long, which is pretty dope. Would you
Yes.
say?
No, I said yes, legends. Go ahead.
So, we have the beautiful Christina Solis tonight. Her pinnacle role is Baby Doll from Vida, Loca, but she's done other great, amazing movies and shows. So we want to talk to her about that when she gets in here. So, without any further ado, shall we bring her in?
Go ahead. You went out for a second?
Oh, shall we bring her in?
I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we should. Let's go ahead and bring her in. She is here. Christina, welcome her to the show.
Hi.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You look amazing, by the way.
So you always do though.
So let us start off by getting to know you a little bit. I mean, obviously you don't need an introduction, but for those of us who don't know much about you on a personal level, let's get to know you a little bit.
Okay. My name is Christina Solis and my married name is Caron or Caron. I grew up in Oxnard, California, and it was a small farming town north of Malibu, south of Ventura.
Mhm.
So it's a farming town, and I grew up there, and I just did the normal high school thing, and went to college, and decided I didn't want to do that, and I decided to go into acting, and the rest is history.
So, what was it about the acting book that bit you? Like, what made you want to get into acting in the first place?
Well, I've always wanted to be an actor. I played Barbies, I think, till I was 15. So like, yeah, I was like so into like pretending and I don't know. I think I psychoanalyzed myself to thinking like I wanted to be anyone but me, growing up.
Okay.
So it was easy to pretend to be somebody else. And when I was in LA, and I was with my mother, and this woman said, we were buying some stuff, and we were buying beer, and because I started late, I was like 21, and pardon?
When you started acting, you were 21.
Yeah, I started. Yeah, so I was like, we were unloading like the the groceries and stuff, and I was speaking Spanish with my mom, and of course the cashier was like, "You're not 21. You can't be touching the alcohol." And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And the woman said, "And you speak Spanish too without an accent?" And I said, "Yeah." And so she was a manager, and I called her, and she really was a manager. And I started taking some classes with her, and the acting coach was Cooter from the Dukes of Hazzard, and his whole family acted. Like his my mom used to babysit his daughter, who was Blake Lively. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
She's So so the whole acting career was based on Cooter from Dukes of Hazzard, who was the acting teacher, and who happened to, I mean, he was an incredible person, but everyone in his class worked. Everyone worked. He would just he taught us how to audition and how to get the job. He was like, worry about the acting later. And probably the worst advice you could give an actor, right? So anyways, I quickly started auditioning 3 months after I started taking classes, and my first audition was Out for Justice with Steven Seagal, and
Wow.
and
I love that movie. Go ahead.
What?
I said I love
You like that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My mom's favorite actor was Steven Seagal, and her favorite movie was Above the Law, but she couldn't say above the law. She would say a buffalo, and so so she called him a buffalo, right? So when I went to the casting, it was to the casting director, and then they said, "Okay, just go to producer," and I'm like, I didn't know what that was, and so I go to the producer, and it was Steven Seagal, right? So I'm like, "Oh my God, a buffalo!" And he goes, "What you call me?" And I'm like, "A buffalo." And then he said, "Why?" And I said, "Well, because you're my mom's favorite actor, and she loves Above the Law, and she can't say it. She says a buffalo." And he goes, "Well, let's call her." And I'm like, "Okay." So he called her. He spoke Spanish to her, and she invited him over for enchiladas, and the rest was history. So yeah, that's what happened. And after that, I I was so lucky. I really worked a lot, and then I got a major agent, and I just reversed engineered the whole discrimination thing, the whole Latino thing. Because I didn't live in LA at that time, because we had moved back to Oxnard because I had a boyfriend who I couldn't live without at the time. And I would commute. And in between auditions, I would go hang out at my agent's office, which was this huge agency, APA, which this huge tower. So I would go hang out in his office, and I'd see the dailies, that's what they call the breakdowns that come out, the jobs that come out every day, right? And he would be, sifting through who he was going to send to what. And I'm like, why can't you send me? And why does she have to be a redhead? Why does she have to be blonde? I'm like, I know Shannon Doherty. Why can't I hang out with her at the mall? And so he was like, I don't know. So he would submit me, and I would get the audition, and I would get the job. And I don't know if they were just feeling guilty or what, but it worked. So I feel like I opened a lot of people's eyes in Hollywood. Maybe, I'm not wasn't the most talented or the most whatever, but I was the most gutsy, and I didn't succumb to the stereotype of the Latino in Hollywood. But
Safe to say you were a natural.
Yeah.
what?
Safe to say you were a natural.
A bullshitter. Yeah. So, but but if there was a Latino role, if there was, like for sure, it was the same people going out for the same jobs, and it was one job. I mean, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't a lot of jobs, so it was, the same group of us that would audition for one role. So when, so because there's not a whole lot of Latino movies, they're completely cast that way, which is really strange because we're the majority and we're not even in the background. So it's like kind of weird to me that, downtown LA, you can't go out and not see a Mexican, so
Yeah.
but the extras are not Mexican. It's weird. So then what happened? So I started working a lot. Then Vida, Loca came along, and that was awesome. That was an amazing experience because the auditioning process, like the Allison Anders, the director, was just like, that audition was long, and she really, really took her time casting, and I who knew? I didn't know that this movie was going to be like such a great big deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's changed people's lives. It's just such an honor to be a part of it.
How does it make you feel to be part of a cultural classic?
It's surreal. Like I don't think I've ever had an appearance where a little girl didn't cry. And it's not like people my age come and see us. You've seen it, right? It's like younger girls, and the younger they are, like, they'll just like, they just really resonate with us, and it's like, it's so touching to have that much influence over, or that this influenced so many people and touched so many people's lives. It's incredible.
I'm sure it's great to like have it, because obviously these little girls are learning from somewhere, so they're learning from mom, and
Yeah, I was I break the tension by saying I was your babysitter, because like, everybody put their kid in front of that movie. It seems like, but everybody grew up with it, so like we were, babysitters. So.
Like, taking it back to what you were talking about earlier, what did it do for you to be able to be in a movie with one of your mother's favorite actors? Like, I'm sure that full circle moment meant a lot to you.
Oh my goodness. It was the most welcoming. Okay, so Steven Seagal has, his dirt or whatever people say about him, but he really treated me like his little sister or his daughter. Plus, I was like probably as tall as his knee, But it was so. He was the nicest, kindest, most welcoming person to me, and that whole like experience was amazing. It was weird, like, because their budget was like millions of dollars, so not a lot happened like during the day. So like I maybe worked, I don't know, 2 hours, and I was there like 10 days, you know, so it's like.
How was it working on such a big set like that? Because I know you've been on different sets, but I'm sure that set was like different, right?
And that was your first movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was like, that didn't happen again. but TV shows and stuff like that are they have big budgets. It's amazing to work on a big budget. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's like it's great. And I mean, you have. I had no idea what was what, you know. So my acting coach would go over all who was who and who was what. But on a budget this big, there was extra people, you know, like I had my own PA, I had my own, I mean, there was like a masseuse there were chefs, there was, I mean, everything, you know, I couldn't do anything without somebody knowing what I was thinking. It was weird, you know what I mean? Like, it was really cool. So I got to learn like who did what, and so by the end of that, it was a huge, it was a really educating experience, you know, and especially with Steven Seagal and William Forsythe was in that movie as well, and he was the bad guy. He was rich, right?
Rich,
and
yeah. Legendary actor too.
Yes, the kindest, nicest person. I mean, like, I'm just totally would say, do this, do that, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, they took care of me. It was great. So I learned a lot. So thank you, William Forsythe and Steven Seagal. and Juliana Margulies. It was her first time working too. So she was my sister in the movie, and she was great. She was so beautiful.
Do you know, like, looking back, did you realize what was occurring at that moment? Like, who you were around, what your career was about to be?
I still can't believe it. I mean, like, I still can't. It's just unbelievable. If I could do it, if me, this little girl from Oxnard, could, I mean, go and audition and just, you know, just try. And that's all it is trying, showing up. Whoever shows up gets the job, you know? So it's just whatever. I mean, I just think that I'm living proof that there's nothing that you can't do. Doesn't matter where, you know, who you were born to or where you were from. Everything's possible, and follow your dreams. And I'm really shocked that there aren't more Latino movies out. You know what I mean? Like, with.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, I mean, like, when we first started going out to meet and greets, people would always, you know, first question, when is Mi Vida Loca 2 coming out? And it's like, well, when are you gonna make it? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's your turn now. It's like, we're old. We want to see the new kids, you know, come up.
Right.
Actually, that is my next question. What do you feel about classics being remade? Do you think that it should happen?
I'm sorry, what?
Classic movies or classic shows being remade or redone like years later. Do you think that they should be left alone, or do you think that they should try and do remakes and part twos and things like that of classic movies?
Well, I think they should leave the originals alone. But yeah, I already thought about that. I wonder, like, who's gonna play Baby Doll? You know what I mean? Like, But yeah, I don't think there would be a movie that Loca too, but I could see a remake. Maybe, yeah. But I don't know. I think Allison kind of nailed it. So
Yeah.
yeah. So what else have I done? Did every TV show there was, and I stopped acting because I got married and had babies. So that's another thing, is that I married like a millionaire, and he was like the best guy ever. I mean, like,
You're living all of our dreams, honey.
Don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about nothing.
I know. It was like, I mean, my life was a fairy tale. It was just like everything. I mean, like I was like, wow, like, why God? Like how come, you know, why am I so lucky? You know,
Don't ask, just take it.
I know. And
Thank the Lord for it.
He was single, no babies, no crazy exes. I mean, totally a great guy.
That's beautiful.
And
that's beautiful.
Yeah. And we had 4 kids, and then he got cancer. He died. So,
Don't cry.
We got you. We're gonna take your mind off that in a second and ask you more about your beautiful and amazing career and life. So you had the opportunity to be married to an amazing man and have beautiful children, and the memories will always be there.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes,
we got you, honey. Let us go over. You have an extensive resume. It's not just those 2 things that we talked about. Like, although you're not in it anymore, like you were on some of the biggest shows in the 90s. You were working heavy, right?
Yes.
So you were doing, we're going to name off a list, okay? So we have Seventh Heaven, Moesha, Chicago Hope, Married with Children, and Hanging with Mr. Cooper as far as shows go, right? And then we had Black Scorpion, and then Overdrive.
Mm-hmm. I did all the USAs, Silk Stockings, Renegades, High Tide, Pacific Blue.
Wow.
Remember all those USA shows?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did all of those, and every summer, it seems like it was cool, and I loved doing the USA shows. There were like many movies. Married with Children was amazing.
Oh, that's dope.
that was surreal, because I was already married, and my husband was not. He was really cool because he didn't get in my way, but also I didn't do the whole Hollywood scene thing. You know, like I didn't do that. So I never saw any of the bad stuff that went on in Hollywood, like, because I never put myself in that situation. And my acting coach, my managers, they would always they would warn me. They were like, no auditions in hotels. No, I mean, they don't care who it is. Like, you're not good. I mean, don't put yourself in a situation like that. They really want to see you. They'll see you in an office or wherever, you know what I mean? And that did happen, and I wouldn't do it. So, so I didn't really hobnob that much. I mean, like a little bit, like I said, hung out with like the 90210 people and stuff like that for a while. But like, you know, not very often. So my husband didn't have like a job. There was no issue there. But at the same time, he was never very impressed with what I was doing either. You know what I mean? So I would be like, well, do this with this and with this person, and he'd be like, "Cool." But when I did Married with Children, oh my God, he was so starstruck by Al.
Al Bundy.
Oh, but I don't know.
God. He actually sat on the couch with him and put his hand in his pants. Yeah, and it was. I think I did the last season, right? I'm not sure, but everything was going into the Smithsonian. So, yeah.
Dope.
Actually,
Christina Applegate. Oh my gosh, such a good person. Bud, David Faustino, amazing. Peg was pregnant, so we just looked around her. Great people. Oh, I know who was on that show. Tim Conaway was on that show. He you think that he would always be like that, kind of like not like a Pee Wee Herman, but like who was the guy who played Loca? He was never out of character. Like he did. God, what was his name? He was on that show Taxi a long time ago. He kind of like a weird. What was his name? Andy Kaufman. Right? Andy Kaufman, yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it's well, I figured Tim Conaway to be something like that. You know what I mean? Because you never saw him break that weirdo thing, but he would. Like, he was so normal, like when they cut. You know what I mean? Like, he was like nice, just normal guy. And and really cool. Yeah. He was really nice. Then let me see. So was it my last series? Yeah, I think it was the last sitcom I did. I got a series called Buddies. It was gonna go for 12 for sure because it was David Chappelle's show. The one he walked away from, like where he said, "Yeah, I did this, I got this, and I'm out." And I'm like, "No, David, please." So he left, and the show didn't get done. So, but that was gonna go forever, like. So, I mean, that would have made. That was going to be a Friends. You know what I mean? That was going to be like a Cheers. That was, that was going to go as long as he wanted it to. And yeah, that was disappointing. So
I want to revert back to something before I kick it over to my co-host. This is something that I find is very important, and I feel like you would be the perfect person to talk about with this, because she's our first actress, right, on the show.
Yes.
Okay. What can you give any preventative measures for the dangers for women in acting, like how to prevent certain things, or at least try to prevent certain things from happening, when it comes to, as you said, like the casting couch and stuff like that, like just the putting themselves in a position where there is a possibility that bad things may happen? What preventative measures do you have to help with that?
Just listen to your spidey sense. You know what I mean? Like, if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. And just have boundaries, the same boundaries you would have with anyone. They're people, and what I did see from the girls or the women or that did, go that extra mile, they didn't get rewarded for it. You know, I never was the A-list star that was like around Harvey, whatever his name was.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. I never was in that situation, but I don't see myself ever putting myself in that situation. I mean, I find it hard. I mean, I find it hard to believe that these strong women, you know, were victims to this man.
Right.
But it does happen to the best of us, the best of them, or whatever. So just don't put yourself into that situation. If it's it has to be a public place, and if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. And if it sounds too good to be true, it is. And the thing about it now is that before there was protocol, you had to go through casting agents, through talent agencies, through managers, no one talked directly to me but them, you know. And now it's like everybody's networking, or maybe they did, I don't know, but that's not how I did it, you know. Like, I didn't really, like I said, I wasn't like out on Sunset and partying up, you know, where the Viper Room or whatever, you know. Like, that wasn't me. So and even now, like when I go to meet and greets and stuff, I'm, you know, as soon as it's over, I'm out, you know. I mean, anywhere you could get into crazy situations, I think. So just the buddy system, and tell somebody, you know, tell people, don't hold it in, because you just have to tell someone.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I greatly appreciate it, because I'm sure there's a aspiring actress in our chat that, you know.
Yeah. But don't ever put yourself in a situation where somebody's going to cross a boundary of yours, you know, unless it's what you want, you know, and then, you know, that's up to you, you know? So, but I don't think that it just like in real life, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't help. I mean, you have to, especially women, you know, you can't be aggressive in certain things.
Right.
What?
On a lighter note, I'm sure my co-host has a few questions for you of his own.
Yes, I do. Christina, again, thank you for joining us. I want to ask you, how was it for you handling early success, stardom, of whatever capacity it was? Because of course, like you said, you're a young lady from Oxnard, California. You're not really in LA around everything like that. So I'm sure you're a little bit sheltered. For you to come on, you know, get these big movie roles like with Steven Seagal, and then to go back to Oxnard and be like, I'm sure the biggest thing in Oxnard, everyone knows you now. You're like, you know, how did you handle that as a young lady? Because it seemed to me like even now you're so humble and so like, you know, just polite, and just like, you're not, like you said, quote unquote Hollywood. You know what I mean? So how did you handle that early on, dealing with that?
The whole Oxnard thing is a weird thing. And maybe that's what's kept me humble too, because it seems like the Latino culture in general, they want you to succeed, but not too much. They want you to, they want you to come up just to knock you down, you know, just to watch you fall, you know. So it's like, you know, crabs, you know, they're trying to get out of a cage and the crabs bring them back down, you know what I mean? So nobody gets out of that.
Girl, right.
And so I was very humble and normal and I still try to, I don't know. I don't think I'm a big deal. This is what I did to do, this is what I did. And like, I worked hard and I competed, and it's not easy. I earned it, and I did my job, and that's it. But yeah, it's weird because if people recognize me and I don't acknowledge it, like she thinks she's all that, and it's like, and if I do acknowledge it, they're like, you think you're all that because I wasn't even going there. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a lose-lose. I think so. I just don't.
Because I feel like I've noticed, like, in the Latino culture, like they're people, like they're actors or actresses, singers and performers, like they have longevity because of all the support, I would think. So that's an interesting take on it.
I'm just saying that in Oxnard, like
just in the city,
just like we're in my hometown, like I think just even California, I don't think we get as much love as I don't get as much love as in other states.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, maybe they're just they're not impressed, or I don't know. But the longevity thing is, I think it's like because there's not enough Latinos working, I think. So it's like, oh, there you go. There's your represent. Yeah, we got that covered. Mm-hmm. So they stay. So like it's not. I mean, there's so much more room than Jennifer and Salma. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like once they made it, that's it. And it's almost like Latino shows kind of halted, and we were on an upswing, it seemed like. And then it like they reached stardom, and then it just sort of like, okay, so there's your Latina actresses, and that's it, until the next generation. And then now there's like Selena Gomez, but still not enough. Right. Not enough. Not for the second. I mean, we're the majority now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact, and that seems like that's just a Hollywood thing, because for black actors too, it's only like they pick certain few, and it's like Denzel's and certain people that have a long career, but others don't. And I was gonna ask you that earlier, like, and you kind of answered it, but how do you feel like it has elevated, like you said, from when you did your early roles and even your big movie with Vida, Loca and things, to where it is now? Like, I guess you kind of answered that, but where do you think it has elevated, and why do you think it has or hasn't?
I think that it opened, like there's like little openings, and then it closes up again. I don't know if Latinos know, even like, I think it's hard for Latinos because we're Latinos. It's like I'm not Puerto Rican, I'm Mexican, but to somebody from West Virginia, they're all Mexican or they're all Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? Like if I, so it's like almost like an internal fight with us. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, she's not even Mexican. She's Puerto Rican. It's like,
it's a fight, the outside and the inside.
It's like we're fighting each other too. Like I said,
right. I get it. That's what all cultures. I mean, black and brown, the same thing. But let me while I'm thinking about that, since you mentioned Salma, the homie Spanks asked earlier, how was it working with Selma Hayek
Oh my
as
God.
H?
Such a trip. No, that woman is amazing. Like, she's perfect. She's absolutely perfect. She was, and like, she's just a movie star. She just is. She's just like, she's fantastic. She's extra. She's there was a part in the movie where she's supposed to be drunk, and she's a method actor, so she got wasted, and she doesn't drink. She doesn't drink, but she did. She like downed a bottle of tequila or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she ended up like, she started singing, and she was crying and laughing, and she took all her clothes off and started running around naked. And we were like, oh my God, she's perfect. I mean, she's like, wow.
Still to this day, shout out to Selma. Gee.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's all that. She's awesome. And yeah, for sure. She's just such a good person. Like, I don't know. She just, she has it, like you just knew it, like she's just a star. And but she had, and maybe it's not a Mexican thing, maybe it's a Chicano thing, because she was very, very generous and very inclusive with like, oh, that's, a producer, let's go talk to him. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even, that wasn't like even a thought back then. I mean, because it was so competitive, like you tripped the person, like you wouldn't like invite somebody to go meet them with you. That's the type of person Sama was. And that's just Hollywood. Like, you don't, it's just.
Would you say you guys, you personally or any of the other actors or actresses, did you guys learn or take anything from Selma working with her that you held on to or took on to further in your career, that you learned from her personally?
Yes. About me personally, yes, that there are no small parts. She had 2 lines, bravo. Right. And she made that into something. I mean, do you remember the movie?
Yeah, she had
bravo, Duran, bravo. I mean, like, who'd have thought? I mean, like, on the page, it just was nothing, and she made it into like something, and like, she stole the scene. It was like, I mean, she did everything like 1000% in that, and she was just completely committed to
right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was her first movie too. Spank said that was her first movie as well. Is that true?
And Danny Trejo's as well.
Wow. You see, that's legendary for you to be. I mean, again, that movie again is just so legendary. But I'm sure no one knew at the time. None of you all probably knew what it would become or what it would be.
I think you knew about Salma and Danny. I think you knew. Okay. I mean, I did. I knew it.
That's incredible.
Like I was, we were okay. So when I first started acting, I would go to auditions, and I would first of all, it's always great to be new. So anybody who is out there who wants to be an actor, do it, take advantage of it, and embrace the newness, and embrace not knowing things, because it's just, you're new, you're fresh, you're important, you know what I mean? So I would walk into these auditions, and I would recognize people, and I'd be like, oh, why am I here? Like, like, I'm, I would start doubting myself and getting all like weird, but then I would be like, but who cares? They're going to get the job. I might as well just try it, whatever, and that's kind of like, the attitude I had, like, I'm not going to get it. So, let's just, have fun. And sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't, and whatever. But one day, and it was like Sadie Lopez, me, Maria Canal, Vanessa, like there was like about 6 or 7 of us that were always like in auditions, and we were like, if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be one of us 6, you know what I mean? Like, and one day Eva Mendes walked in and we just looked at each other and we just went, shit, so yeah.
Wow.
And I don't think that Sadie Lopez gets the recognition that she deserves as an actress.
I don't think she wants it, only because she's super, super shy too. Really shy. And I think that like some people want to be movie stars and famous, and some people like to work and do what they do, and I think that's Sadie, she's like, this is her job, and because she does, and she has worked a lot, and does, she's like, whether it's just a little partner, but she's there.
Like to be and like to Selena, like a show, a series, and the original movie is crazy. And, and people not even realize that it's the same person,
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. They were thinking of doing that with me, Vida, Loca, like not redo the movie as a series, but or I don't know, actually, and maybe I don't know how she was going to do it, but COVID stopped that. But a series was on the table.
That would have been dope.
Yeah, because it could go a lot of places. I mean, like I think we would have been our age now. Like
kind of like what happened after.
Yeah, and then probably, it would then be about the children or kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But, yeah.
Let me see. Spanx also asked, how was it working with Kid Frost? I didn't know Kid Frost was on that set. Did you work with Kid Frost? I know he was on the soundtrack. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad.
He was Mousie's father.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Dang it. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Wow.
How was it working
with him?
Kid is pretty to himself. Like he's very low profile, so I didn't really have a whole lot of interaction with him. And
were you aware of who he was though?
No.
Okay.
I was not aware of who he was. Okay. I was not. I mean, like seriously, nobody was anyone then.
That time, right? I get it. I
mean, really, and so, yeah, like.
I get it. You're right. At that time.
Yeah,
even Salma Hayek wasn't who she was. So I get it.
No. Quentin Tarantino was on the set.
Wow.
Spike Jonze was in the movie on the set.
Wow.
The Duran Duran. The who was the bass player for Duran Duran? With John Taylor, right? John Taylor.
Yeah, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he wrote the score, and
wow.
Yeah,
that was legendary. I mean, there's so many legendary key factors that play into this
it's
movie. And
crazy.
now that
Yeah,
wow.
it's deep. Allison Anders, the director writer of the movie, was dating John Taylor, and they were working on Vida, Loca, and she left to film Gas Food Lodging, a different movie first. And when she got back, he had a girlfriend and he married her. So she was devastated. She was like, she was
Wow.
totally heartbroken. So
Wow.
she wrote in El Duran.
Oh, for that.
Kill
Oh
him.
my gosh. That
was
is always some of the best work when you're working through pain.
Wow.
What?
When
So
you're
El Duran is
that is
for
some of the
Duran Duran.
best work.
What?
Your creativity comes alive when you're in pain.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a
So-
fact. That's a
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, hold on. Miss 702 posted a question here that I did not know either. Sad Girl is a Puerto Rican from New York. And that had to teach her Latin, I guess Cali, Stilo, and swag. How was that? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, she's Puerto Rican. She lives in Mexico now, though.
But I mean, she was from New York. That's like a totally different. I mean, wow. I didn't know that.
She did a great job playing a Cali girl. Sure.
Giggles was black. Is
Wow.
and white. She's
Wow. See, I'm learning a lot of news. I didn't know any of that. Wow. Wow. You learn something new every day. Wow. I didn't know either though.
Girls
Puerto Rican.
actresses, right?
What?
A lot of the girls in the movie weren't actresses. They just kind of, some of the girls, they were girls from the neighborhood that just kind of came into the movie, right?
Yeah, because Ellison would her daughters went to school with
Pearl.
with these girls,
Right.
with these girls, and she would overhear them talking, and she'd ask her daughters, like, "Is that true? Are they making that up?" And they'd be like, "No, it's true." And so she was friends with people on the bus or something, and she introduced the friends introduced their daughters to her, and she started getting the story together. But yeah, but a lot of it was like her own like creativity, or spin on things like Lunan. When I found that out, I was like, oh my god, that is awesome. That is like so cool that she got to like get all that out,
How was it for you working, like you being a somewhat of a trained, I mean, even though you started off raw, but you became a seasoned actor, studied and all that. How was that for you working with this cast? Like they said, a lot of these young ladies and people on the cast were not real actors and just, kind of came along or were new to it. How was that for you working with them, and were you able to teach them or show them some things?
Ooh, no, I kind of ducked out and like just, because I kind of had a really good seat in this whole thing, because I was an actress, but I wasn't in it all the time like Sadie and Angel. Like, they were working all the time. So I was hanging out with the neighborhood, with the real,
right,
the real
ones. Echo Park.
I was, yeah. So I was Baby Doll, and I am Baby Doll, and
right.
Yeah. So I just kicked it with them because we were, just sort of hanging out, So I don't know. I just like hung out more with them, and I didn't have a problem at all. There was a little fear when there was a jump in scene,
right?
Because they really wanted to jump them in.
Real, and real.
Huh? I'm already in, so I'm cool. Like, so it was yeah, and the drugs, they were like stadium years old. Yeah, they were scared when it came to that, because like they were doing a lot of super cools and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. So-
How was it for you being around that like scene? Like you said, you were hanging around with some of the real members and people of the community. Like again, you being from Oxnard and you being around not only on the set but around some real, like a real setting, a real neighborhood, and real people that were really parts of that community, and you seen it close up. How was that for you? That experience?
Oh, it's a good one. I'm so glad it went how it did, but Oxnard, like what I grew up in, like half my family was in gangs and half wasn't.
Okay.
So like
You were already knowing what's going on.
yeah. And what I shouldn't know and what I shouldn't ask, and loose lips. I mean, like snitches get stitches, and I mean, like I knew never just talk. I mean, I mean not to say anything, like.
Gotcha.
And I knew the code, the Chicano code, and the loyalty thing. So I just minded my business, and that's about it. And that's actually the best thing you could do, in any situation. I think. And don't get it. Like stand for something or you'll fall for anything. But I stood for not trying to be something I wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, offset. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Let me ask you this, and I'm going to turn it back. Right. I just want to ask you this, and I want to turn it back over. Like you said, you were married early and, had good people around you, obviously good representation, your agent, all this to kind of keep you from a lot of the BS. Do you think, in hindsight, that was a blessing? Because like you said, that helped you avoid being caught up with a lot of stuff, even in the scene and running around and probably the wrong people and all these things that a young actor and a young lady can't get caught up in, especially back in those days. So do you think that was a blessing in disguise early for you?
Yes. And also, I don't know about you, but people could do whatever they want. And I'm the person though, that when I do it, all hell breaks loose. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just crazy. Like, okay. So like, I don't know if you are familiar with the groundlings. Do you know what the groundlings are? Anyway, it's like the groundlings. It's a comedy. Like everyone who goes through there wants to be on Saturday Night Live. It's like a second city. Like okay. So I went through the comedy, like training, and my teacher was Mike McDonald. What?
I was saying, what's up to Big Joe? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, oh, people are calling in?
Yeah, people are commenting.
There's live comments where you can see, like, this is a live show. So people are commenting it. There was a comment earlier that said, from Miss 702, that said, I can't imagine being in the presence of Baby Doll right now. I'm fangirling out. You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah.
A lot of love. You're getting a lot of love. I guess you can watch.
Thank you.
And when you watch back, you're able to kind of see the comments come through.
Okay. What I'm seeing is that this looks a mess, but I'm sorry. So Mike McDonald was my groundlings teacher, and he later on went up to host Mad TV.
Oh, I love that show.
Do you remember Mike McDonald? He played the baby or Stuart.
Yes.
Like,
Sure.
I don't want it anymore. Yeah. So that was my teacher. And when we graduated, or when it was over the class, everybody would, okay, so they would all go out after class and they'd go to bars in West Hollywood and the whole thing. And again, I would not go. I would go home. And if I did, I don't know. I've always been afraid to drink and drive because my husband was a personal attorney lawyer, a personal injury attorney.
Personal injury lawyer. Yes.
Yeah. So he was like so adamant about not drinking and driving, and like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so I just, and then my body weight and whatever. So I wouldn't really drink and drive. And so I thought, well, what's the point of going to a bar? But so the last day he had a party at his apartment, and they were all smoking weed. And it's like, then they were like, just do it. It was like, oh my God. So I'm like, oh my God. So I did. And Mike McDonald, I didn't know, had the same agent I did. And he told my agent. So my agent like totally like came down on me about it. And it's like, okay. I mean, like seriously, like, I'm like, I don't have a drug problem. It was just like, it was just crazy. So,
But that's a great thing because the agents back in the day did not play about image at all.
good. Seriously, everybody was doing it, and it was like, I'm the only one who like it all came down on.
Because they probably, it seems like they took you in like you were like the babe, like you were just special, and like almost like a child, like their kid, you know what I mean? Like they had to take care of you, and they wanted to protect you.
They gave it to me. But I mean, I was just like, oh my God, it was like River Phoenix had just died, and it was just like, oh my God, it wasn't that big of a deal, but okay.
Hey, dude, let me ask you this: do you ever feel, being that you were protected so much and you were married early and all this, do you sometimes feel, even though it was a good thing, do you feel sometimes that you missed out on some things, or you wanted to do more or hang out or have fun sometimes, but you couldn't?
No, because my husband was like really fun. So I don't know, like we did other things. I mean, like we traveled a lot and we vacationed, and like, I mean, yeah, it was. I really am glad that it went the way it did. I don't have any regrets, and I got to do whatever I wanted on my terms,
Right.
And I really am glad that I didn't have any stories on tabloids and stuff like that. So, the only thing I would have to do is, because my husband did get into some little trouble. I couldn't be seen with him, so I used to have, when I did go to premieres and stuff like that, I would have
Other people have
another date.
You couldn't be seen with him.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, I won't get into that. I don't know why, but I won't get into that. Go ahead.
Sure won't. We're gonna move on to the next question.
Right.
He did what he did, but so yeah. But it had to do with sports agent stuff, USC.
Oh, okay.
All right. Like I said, we'll just leave that alone. Don't worry. We'll keep it.
Sure will.
Okay. So my date was always Clifton Gonzalez. Do you know who that is?
No.
Give us an actor, maybe not by that name.
He changes it a lot. Clifton Collins Gonzalez. I just used to call him Cliffy, but he's an amazing actor, and yeah, I think he got nominated for an Academy Award. He's an amazing actor, and he's highly underrated. I think. Like, yeah, he was in Hoffa. Was it with Hugh? Oh,
that was a good movie.
I think that's what was nominated.
The guy died, right? That's Seymour Hoffman. He like win the Academy Award.
That's what I was saying. He was nominated and won. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Cliffy was in that one. And like, he's in a lot of movies, kind of like Sadie, but like with big people.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I did. I mean, like, I would like to do like the red carpet thing and stuff like that. I that was fun.
Have you ever considered getting back into acting?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm going to do a Western with Jeff Garcia.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
So you already are back in acting. You already are back. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. A comedy. I play a madam, and it's Western, so it's called Lowriders. So I'm excited.
It should be coming out soon. I think I've seen already promo. You guys are already doing promo for it, right?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
No, no. It's no, it's not yet. But it's freaking funny. Jeff is hysterical. He's really amazing, and Isai Morales, and
he's amazing, legendary.
Yeah. It's like I call it a Cinderella story, but it's just freaking funny. It's like Friday. I think.
Oh, it's one of those types of movies.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like a Mexican Western, and like,
that's gonna be great. Whenever it comes out and you want to promote any like future projects you have coming up, you're always more than welcome to come back. Always.
Of course.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, no, go ahead.
As far as your inspiration, like when you're doing your acting, do you pull from certain actors as your inspiration, or do you pull from your own personality? Like what do you pull from when you're acting?
Like who's like my go-to act?
Yeah, in a sense.
Lily Taylor.
Oh.
Wow.
She's just, I've always liked her style, and I don't know, I just think she's an amazing actress. She's not around anymore, is she? Do you know who Lily Taylor is?
No, I don't see her around at all, actually.
No, I don't know. I just always liked her quirkiness, and she's little, and I don't know, and bold, which I'm kind of not, but I can be. So it's, yeah. So I get my inspiration and I feel like my power from her.
Speaking of which, what would you say to anyone who's trying to get into Hollywood when it comes to criticism? How much of a backbone should one have?
Oh,
deal with criticism.
God, it's not for someone who doesn't want to be talked about, especially commercials. Commercial auditions were especially if you got far on them, it's not just the direct casting and the producer director, it's the client. So they're sitting there talking about you you can't hear them. She's too fat, she's too old, she's too tall, she's too young, she's too skinny, she She's not Mexican enough. Her hair's too curly. I'm like, I could hear you, like it's just so yeah. It's crazy what you hear in front of your face. So or do you mean like I think that people now have a little taste of it because of social media, no?
Yeah.
So I would think it would be the same thing. Like, I think that everyone has an opportunity to be, somebody or, famous, if that's what it is, because of social media, and you get what you get and you don't throw a fit because, everything, as hard as people work to get famous, we're always just a decision away from messing it all up, so you just have to be careful, like, if you don't want anybody to know, don't do it, or don't say it. My husband used to say there are two secrets. One's too good to keep and the other one's not good enough to keep. So you don't want someone to know something, don't tell anyone or don't do it. So, yeah, basically. In general.
What do you think, speaking of social media and how it is today, like you just said, anyone can be anything now, opposed to what it was back in the 90s or even back in the day when you actually had to, go, audition and meet people, shake hands, do things, and like how it is now where it's just like that. Someone could be on the internet and just blow up. Do you appreciate where it is gone now opposed to where it was, or do you think do you like hate it? Like some people love it, some people hate it. In between, what do you feel about where it's gone now and social media effect on quote unquote Hollywood and actors and actresses?
I think it's a different medium because, and yeah, I'm impressed. I think it's awesome that you could be a TikToker or all that. I can't do it, so, but could they take that and go to an audition and go through the process? I don't know. Like it's a totally different thing. Like it's like asking you to be funny. You know what I mean? Like, or even a comedian, like just be funny. It's like you can't. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird. I don't know. I think it's wonderful that you could, promote yourself and your talent, no matter what it is, even if it's eating. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get stuck on that AMSR. What is it? ARM, whatever, the eating thing.
AMSR.
Yeah. I get like into it too. It's so satisfying. So I have a daughter, so I got all into that with the putty, the slime. She used to make slime. We used to watch slime videos.
A whole mess all over the house.
But the noise of the slime, like it was satisfying. So, I think it's great. What do you? Look at you. You have a podcast.
I know.
That is awesome. Like,
and the thing is, this show was social media based. Like, us together, we found each other because he found me through social media, and then I was like, "Hey, do you need a co-host?" So magic has happened since December because of social media. So it can be a blessing.
And thank you for extending it out to the Latino folk.
Honestly, we feel like there's not enough platforms or credit to give to in the Latino culture, as far as talent goes. We really don't see it, like, and she what is called Chicano Hollywood. Like, thank the Lord that there's more and more like podcasts and things like that. But what we want to do, because a lot of the ones that I see at least are very like, I changed my life. I used to be an addict. I used to be in prison. Which those are great. However, we want to focus on the pinnacle of the Latino culture, like the actors, the actresses, the even like the celebrity chefs, like the people who
Oh,
are
my cousin was the top chef. Like remember that
the show.
the chef that he won the top chef. The gosh, what it was a big old reality show about
That's the name of the show, right? Top Chef.
Yeah.
top chef. Yeah, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin Adrian.
Wow.
So our goal is to like put a positive a positive tone to the Latino
A
community.
human.
Yes, like people who are living their dreams, regardless of what. Because we haven't just had Latino guests, but the guests that we have that were not Latino have a very big influence in the Latino community. Like, we've had, members of the jazz band, we've had um, the creator of the World Class Wrecking Crew, like very like West Coast royalty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we tend to try to focus on what I guess what we see as like California.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that-
Like real California.
We're appreciating our platform. Thank you for that.
That is awesome. Like Brenton Wood.
Yeah, like we would like.
I was shocked when Brenton Wood was black. I'm like, I don't know. I just assumed he was Mexican. I don't know.
A lot of people.
Yeah, just like because I grew up. I mean, we all grew up with him, and it was just it was just the Chicano thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we've had Norman Carter on in the past.
What?
We're supposed to have A-Line too, but that we're gonna reschedule as well.
We sure are.
Who?
But Norman Carter of the Delphonics.
The what?
Norman Carter of the Delphonics. We've had him on before.
Oh yeah. I love the Delphonics.
Yeah.
I love them. One of them was singing to me at a Legion party not too long ago.
Wow,
You were there.
Special.
I was.
Yeah, that's right. And
I think it was Norman. I think it was just Norman that day.
yeah, but he was like, I was like, oh my god.
But go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you before I forget. You've done so many roles, movies, TV shows, all these things. You personally, what has been your two-part question? What has been, maybe would you say, your favorite role that you've played, or something you've been a part of? And on second part, what has been your most memorable or enjoying part of your journey as an actress, or your whole journey through Hollywood, or everything that you've been a part of? What is your most memorable or enjoyable part, and what is their favorite part that you played in, or role you played, or movie or show that you have been a part of?
Gosh, they were all awesome. Married with Children, probably. That was kind of like, I think, kind of stepped into the arena type feeling, like. But I did a movie that I don't know if it was ever released, called Gut Feeling, and I think that movie, I went there. I did it. I did. It wasn't just. I mean, I acted. I did my job, and it wasn't just like, I felt like I felt like I was in that character. I was that character. And it's really hard to do. And, but when you do, it's just like it's so amazing. It's like being in love, you know what I mean? Like, it's just right. And, you don't feel forced, you don't feel fake, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I was that character. And, it's on I have a YouTube, okay, what do you guys call it? Channel.
Right.
Because when my husband died, I had, I didn't know where to put the stuff that I would film for my kids. You know, I would film my kids, and there was like no one there. I'm not in most of it, but I do have like some stuff from Gut Feeling, which the movie is that I like myself in is called Gut Feeling. But most of it is just like my kids like growing up, and I'm not on my channel very much, but had I known about vlogging then, you know what I mean? Like that is what I wish I would have, you know, like really pursued, because I mean, that could have, like, we could have been the Kardashians.
But at the time, vlogging wasn't even like an
No, it wasn't. And yeah, so I didn't even really realize that everyone could see it too. Like when I would upload it.
When you upload stuff.
Yeah. And I didn't even think anybody would want to, but my kids' friends would watch them and they'd get embarrassed. Also, when my husband died, and I was all alone finally with my 4 kids, and they would ask, you know, you don't even understand. Like, they each had a nanny. Like I didn't know. I mean, like, I would get my kids, they would be all clean, ready for their play dates. And, you know, I would like, so when all that got taken away, like, it was like, I mean, it was very, I mean, I felt like I had to run a triathlon and I never worked out before. You know what I mean? Like, there was these 4 people asking me what to do, and I'm like, I don't know, can you? You know, like whose sick joke was it to give me 4 kids? Because like I wasn't like prepared for it, and so long story short, I wrote to Super Nanny, and I said widow with 4 kids, nanny 911. And I pretty much said, I'm a widow, I have 4 kids, and I don't know.
You didn't have like family support or anything?
Yes, it did. But and church, and my church and their school and everything. I decided to stay where I was. When he died, I was like, I could go anywhere I wanted. I could do, I mean, where do I go? And I thought, I'm going to stay here, and I'm not going to upset the kids anymore. I mean, they had a great school and they had friends. And so I'm like, I'm going to stay. So I just, you know, dedicated myself to my kids in church and stuff like that. But at the same time, it was like, there's 4 of them and there was 1 of me. So it was, and I wasn't used to it. And it was just, anyway, Super Nanny called like within 10 minutes. The phone rings. I'm like, ah! So like, they were like, they wanted to do an episode of my kids, and my sister actually like scared them and didn't, the two older ones, and they didn't want to do it. And besides, they said that there was nothing really wrong with them. But they came back to me like 3 years later and said, "Are they like preteen now?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "So like, what's going on?" And then I'm like, "Oh my gosh," you know. So I'm thinking of all these like problems and like how I discipline them and stuff like that. And they were like, "Oh, that's actually a really good idea." And so, anyway, they interviewed us and everything, and there was a show called John and Kate plus 8.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and then John was gone, and it was just Kate and 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were canceling that show, and they needed to replace it. So they were considering Widow with 4,
Mm-hmm.
and my kids just wouldn't do it. So I mean, the two older ones wouldn't do it. So, and my sisters wouldn't do it, because everybody has to sign off.
Yeah.
Like, and nobody supported me on that, so it didn't happen. And I think the Kardashians came out right after that, like after John and Kate.
Yeah, like 07.
Yeah, so that happened.
You are, I'll tell you, you have the strength of a stallion. Being around you as many times as I have, I always see such a positive outlook and such a smile. Like to know that you've gone through all this, I wouldn't have even imagined. You always have such a positive smile on your face, and you're always out there being a go-getter. And I commend you for your strength and your positive attitude.
Thank you. You too.
Hey,
Go
I
ahead.
want to. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I want to ask you, how is it like 2024? Like, still, like, even everyone in the comments, like, Vida Loca, Vida, everyone is like, that's their favorite movie. It's just a classic. Me, as a kid, not even, as a kid growing up, even till now, you know, I love that movie. And it's just like now you guys too are just getting invited everywhere, and it's like everyone talks about the movie. The cast reunites every so many years, and I seen you been on the scene heavy doing your rounds with the cast. How was that for you? Like 30 years later, I don't know how many years, like 30 years later to and like I said, you've done so much, but that movie right there, to have the impact that it has in so many people now, new generations, kids, people that grew up on that movie, people that were your age then and still, you know,
You
now still
haven't born yet.
that. Like, how does that feel to you to have that impact? And even your kids to see, you know, my mom, like, wow, like, mom, that, you know, that movie right there, like, how does that feel?
It's surreal. I mean, this doesn't happen. Like, it's a cult classic. It's crazy that I was part of it. Is just, I'm just so humble. But I mean, like, I appreciate everyone who keeps it alive, and I'm grateful for all the lives that it's touched, and I hope that people learn from the movie as of a more what not to do. But yeah, I'm proud to be a part of it, and to be a part of history.
History,
Mhm.
definitely. And the cast, like, how does it feel to reunite with some of the cast every now and then when you do reunite and see everyone you haven't seen in years? I'm sure now it's become normal.
Yeah.
And just, you know, to have everyone here that is still here. And shout out to my brother Arthur, who was in the movie. I went to high school with him. We got a
Yes,
show. That's my
I
boy.
tell him he's next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how was that seeing everyone and still, you know, it's almost like a reunion, right?
Well, Arthur and Veronica and I are together almost every weekend.
Right.
Yeah, we become like really close. And Panchito. But before it was Angel, Latero, and I. And it's just great. It's like they're my family. So for sure, that whole house is for family. I don't need anything but that.
We have a question in the chat for you.
Yeah, go ahead, DeAndre. Spanx has a question. G, can you ask her if she remembers the character Rascal? He's a friend of mine, a close friend of his. Spanx asked that. Do you remember the character Rascal?
Yeah. What was his? Yeah, Rascal was also. Yeah, he was in it. Yeah, I totally remember him. He's still around, right? He wears glasses now.
I guess he's asking, do you know him? Are you in contact with him?
Yeah, he comes around every now and then. Yeah,
right.
when Allison does, and he'll be around on the 15th, on June 15th. We have our 30th reunion.
Okay.
The Mi Vida Loca reunion. 30th anniversary reunion at the Palace in downtown Los Angeles, and you buy your tickets at the Palace, or I think the link is in my bio on my Instagram account.
That's gonna be dope, right there.
Definitely, everyone is invited. I think the tickets are like $25, which isn't bad. How much is it to go to movies now? I don't know.
Right.
Right. I think it's pretty much normal.
Didi got the link right there in the chat where you guys can get your tickets at. And when this happens, will the whole cast be there? Because like you said, I haven't seen everyone together lately. So everyone will be there?
Everyone will be there.
Yeah, that's dope.
Everyone. Yeah. So, yeah, we're excited.
That's dope.
And it's going to be like, I think it starts like at 5. They're going to have lowriders cruising. And then I think we're going to do a Q&A and screen the movie. And then afterwards have some sort of entertainment. It's a 90s theme. So.
Oh, that should be fun.
Dope. I need to be there for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you guys are coming, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Good. We'll be there.
Yeah. Be there.
So, my dear, is there any other appearances, project that you wanted to promote?
Yes. Next weekend, on the 25th, I'll be in Idaho, in Boise, Idaho, at the Jefitos 5th annual car show with MC Magic and the Temptations and El Duran, Jesse Borrego, Panchito, and I. Who else? I don't know. It's going to be fun. I've never been to Boise, and I'm so excited.
You're like low-key on tour, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's dope. That's dope.
And we have openings here and there, but yeah, we're pretty much booked till October.
That's dope.
So we're going to Mexico in August, Mexico City. So yeah, wherever we're invited, we go. So yeah.
And if anybody wanted to book you guys for any future events, how can they do that?
They can DM me or Echo Park, and we'll check availability and all that and make it happen.
No, that 15th event is gonna be one for the books, I'm sure.
It is. It's gonna be amazing. The premiere of the movie, before it was anything, was a big deal. I mean, like I said, like all the people that were involved with the movie, they low key were famous. You know what I mean? Like, so it was a big deal, and I'm sure Allison's friends are gonna come. You know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be like everybody's coming. Like, you know, I'm sure Spike Jones and Lee or Jones.
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee, yeah. Spike Lee, and then who else? I don't know, but anyway, she's like been she like will put out a picture here and there, and I think it's of her and or whatever the picture is of, and she's like, "Look who's in the back," and I'm like, "Oh my!" I mean, it's just like she's just amazing. She like low key knew everyone, you know, and everybody would come out to help her. So yeah, she's. It was a really eclectic crew and scene, the whole thing. I didn't even realize it at the time.
Well, I hope that now, 30 years later, you're proud of the production that you're
I
part
am.
of.
And then it feels like yesterday. I mean, it just, I don't know. It's just weird. We get to be 22 every weekend, like, or I do.
One last thing, how does it feel to be known? Like, you've done some pretty big roles, and you've done some pretty big movies with some big actors, and to know that this movie here, like the little movie that could, I guess, is what you're known for. How does that make you feel?
I'm good. I'm baby doll, and that's fine with me. I'm proud of it. I mean, like, yeah, I'm just grateful, and thank you everyone for first loving the movie and loving Baby Doll, and just keeping it alive and keep it, you know, keep it in our tradition.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be
I love
forever.
that.
That's gonna be forever, like that, like especially since now that because we like to relive that time, like that '90s. That whole thing is gone. Like
Oh,
even
absolutely.
Park
Especially
is what they call that. What they call that? Gentrify. You know, so it's not even like everything is different. So to relive that moment of in time right there is gonna be forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And a woman's point of view. I mean, it's just never been done before, and not in it. And it was, and she didn't do it in like a documentary style. It was, you know,
it was real.
Yeah,
real.
Yeah. She didn't.
yeah. If you really think about it, like it's one of, because you have your Blood and Blood Outs, your, you know, American Me's, but this is kind of like a gangster movie for the girls, you know?
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations on being a pioneer, dear.
Thank you.
So where can we find you on your social media platforms?
Well, I don't TikTok too much. I mean, I do have one, but mostly IG, and it's yes_baby doll.
We got all your links.
At yes_baby doll. Put it up there.
I will have Didi put it up for us.
Yeah, all your links will be in the description.
My daughter's name is Grace.
Shout out to DD.
But thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate your presence.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
Another great interview, G-Lew.
Yes, another classic for the books. This was legendary right here. Classic. Baby doll. Everyone in the comments, like when you watch it back, you'll see all the love you got. But you got so much love in the comments. Everyone loves you, and thank you. We thank you for joining us. This was, I think you're our official first actress on here, so it was classic. And we hope to have the rest of the cast on here in the future. Like Arthur's my boy, so got to have him on here. And everyone, and like you said, we'll hope to see you on the 15th.
Yes, for sure. You're invited. Everyone's invited. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Baby doll, everyone. Thank you again.
Okay. And are you gonna?
Yeah, we'll sign out. You can go. We'll take it. Thank you. That was Baby Doll, everyone. Thank you again. And yeah, Chanel, go ahead.
What a great interview. So next week we will, we always do. So next week we will have an amazing guy by the name of Mohawk Mac. He's in a sense a social media influencer and a tattoo model. And he has a great story to tell next week. So that's going to be one for the books for sure.
That part. So you guys don't want to miss that. Make sure you tap in right here, same time, same place. Changing the Game, G-Lew. You see the beautiful DeAndre Chanel. She is a fashion designer as well too. So everyone's saying how good you look and pretty and all that. She designs and styles. She's a stylist, designer, has her own clothes line, all that. So if you guys want to be looking like DeAndre or you know whatever, get at her. Tell the people where they can get at you, DeAndre. If they want to be styled or they want to get hooked up with your fashion.
So I'm mainly on Instagram with DeAndre Chanel Designs. I do have a TikTok, DeAndre Chanel, but mainly the DeAndre Chanel Designs on Instagram and on my website as well, DeAndreChanel.com.
There it is, y'all. So tap in. And again, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Don't forget to check us out with all the other shows we do during the week too. We'll be back Friday night for an all new interview. Check out Dee Saturday night. Conversation, the Hookah Lounge, and Sunday night, the legendary Oldies Rule Forever. With that being said, we're out of here. The G-Lew Show, DeAndre Chanel, Baby Doll, Mi Vida Loca. Go back and look at it if you haven't watched that in a while. It's a classic. And we'll see you guys.
Girl, Sophie.
Love. What up, girl? Shout out to Love, Grace, Nate Love, Ulysses, everyone in the chat. Thank you for all the love and support. Big Joe, homie Spanks, Pearl. Everyone, thank you for all your support. We appreciate you all. And we'll see you.
We appreciate you all.
Love y'all, man. We'll see you next week. Peace. We are out.
Welcome to the city and the home of the Lakers, the land of the gangbang Mexicans and skyscrapers, Dodgers and the Kings and the Crips and the Bloods. When you mess with one of us, the city they burn it up. Been dividing us for years cause they fear when we united. Nowadays it's in the open, they ain't even trying to hide it. Everything is
Father Hernando,
Mija, ¿qué te pasa? What's
you
wrong?
have to help me, please. They're trying to kill me. Vargas and that bruja Paula Quitano.
I'll call the police.
No, please. They'll send me back to Cuba.
No, I won't let them.
Say-
I promise.
Give it up for my creator. I'm a soldier for the king. If you ain't part of the elect, you ain't knowing what I mean. You'd rather ride in a limousine, get famous like Billie Jean. But that new world order's gonna hit you with that guillotine.
This is how we do it in the streets of California. This is how we put in work.